everyone. Welcome back to Speak Now. I'm Anna.
And I'm David. Thanks for joining us today. We're really excited to talk about something that, well, it drives a lot of English learners absolutely crazy.
Oh, you mean that moment when you know exactly what you want to say, but your brain is like, processing.
Exactly. You're standing there and your brain is working overtime, translating from your native language to English, word by word.
And by the time you're ready to speak, the conversation has moved on to something completely different.
Right. So today, we're talking about how to think in English, not translate. How to make your brain switch gears and start working directly in English.
And don't worry, we're going to keep this super practical. No boring grammar lectures, I promise.
Just real tips that actually work. So grab a cup of coffee, tea, or whatever makes you happy, and let's dive in.
Okay, David, let's start with the elephant in the room. What exactly happens when we translate in our heads?
Well, imagine your brain as a computer. When you translate, you're basically running two programs at the same time, your native language program and your English program.
And computers get slow when they run too many programs, right?
Exactly. Your brain gets overloaded. So instead of speaking naturally, you end up sounding like, I am very happy to make your acquaintance.
Oh, no. Nobody talks like that. A native speaker will just say, nice to meet you.
Right. And here's the thing. Translation doesn't just make you slow, it makes you sound formal, unnatural.
Yes, like you're reading from a textbook. I remember when I was learning Spanish, I would literally think, I want to eat equals quiero comer every single time.
How did that work out for you?
Terrible. I sounded like a Spanish dictionary, not like a real person having a conversation.
And that's the problem, right? Translation creates this barrier between you and natural communication.
Plus, it's exhausting. Your brain is working so hard on translation that you miss out on the flow of the conversation.
Exactly. You're so focused on finding the perfect translation that you forget the most important thing, communicating your idea.
And here's something interesting. Sometimes there isn't a perfect translation. Some ideas just work differently in different languages.
Oh, that's so true. Like in English, we say, I miss you. But in some languages, they might say something like, you are missing to me. Same feeling, totally different structure.
Right. So if you're always trying to translate, you're going to get stuck on things like that.
So the question is, how do we break free from this translation trap?
Well, the good news is it's totally possible. And we're going to share 3 practical tips that can help you start thinking in English today.
Not next month, not next year, today.
All right. Tip number 1. Start talking to yourself in English. Simple stuff, nothing fancy.
Anna, people are going to think we are crazy if we tell them to talk to themselves.
Hey, you talk to yourself all the time. I've heard you in the office. Where did I put my keys? Ah, there they are.
Okay, you got me. But that's actually perfect. Those little moments when you naturally talk to yourself, that's where you start.
Exactly. Instead of thinking, uso mis claves in French or ¿dónde están mis llaves in Spanish? Just think, where are my keys?
Start with the basics, like when you wake up in the morning. Instead of thinking in your native language, try, good morning. Today is going to be a good day.
Or when you're making breakfast, I need some coffee. I'm so tired today.
The key here is simple, present tense thoughts. Don't try to think complex philosophical ideas in English right away.
Right. Save what is the meaning of life for later.
But here's why this works. You're training your brain to default to English for everyday thoughts.
It's like, imagine your brain has different radio stations. Right now, your native language is the default station, but we want to slowly tune in to the English station.
I love that analogy. And the beautiful thing is you can do this anywhere, walking to work, doing dishes, waiting in line.
Just don't do it during important meetings.
Good point. But seriously, let's do a quick example. David, pretend you're getting ready for work in the morning. Okay. What should I wear today? It's a bit cold outside. Maybe I'll take a jacket. Oh, I need to remember to call my mom later.
Perfect. See how natural that sounded? He wasn't translating, he was just thinking in English.
And notice I made some small mistakes, but that's totally fine. The goal isn't perfect grammar. It's training your brain to use English automatically.
Exactly. Your brain will get better at grammar naturally as you practice more. All right, tip number 2. Stop using words altogether. Start using pictures in your mind.
Wait, what? Pictures? Anna, are you telling people to become artists?
No. I mean mental pictures. Let me explain with a story.
Ooh, story time.
So I was learning Italian and I kept trying to translate I'm hungry as io ho fame, but I was always getting confused with the grammar.
Italian grammar is tricky.
Right. But then my teacher said, stop thinking words. When you're hungry, just picture food. Picture your empty stomach. Feel the hunger.
Ah, I see where this is going.
So instead of translating words, I started connecting feelings and mental images directly to Italian words. When I felt hungry, I thought, ho fame. No translation needed.
That's brilliant. You bypassed your native language completely.
Exactly. So in English, when you see a red apple, don't think red apple in your language first, then translate to English. Just look at it and think red apple directly.
It's like creating a direct connection between your experience and English words.
Yes. Let's try this. David, I'm going to describe a scene and you respond with what you see in your mind in English.
Okay, I'm ready.
You walk into a coffee shop. It smells amazing. There are people sitting at small tables, typing on laptops. Soft music is playing. What do you see?
I see people relaxing, drinking coffee. Someone's reading a book. The barista is making espresso. I can hear the machine. There's a cozy feeling.
Perfect. You weren't translating. You were experiencing the scene and describing it directly in English.
Wow, that felt so much more natural than trying to translate descriptions.
Right, because experiences don't have languages. Hunger is hunger. Happiness is happiness. The smell of coffee is the smell of coffee.
So we're basically training our brains to connect experiences directly to English, skipping the translation step.
Exactly. And this works for emotions too. When you feel excited, don't translate excited. Just connect that feeling to the English word.
This is like emotional vocabulary building.
I love that. Emotional vocabulary building. We should trademark that.
All right, here's tip number 3, and this one is my absolute favorite. Create an English bubble around yourself.
Ooh, the English bubble. Tell them about this, David.
So imagine you're surrounded by an invisible bubble, and inside this bubble, only English exists. No other languages allowed.
It sounds a bit silly, but it actually works.
Here's how I discovered this. I was living in Japan trying to learn Japanese, but whenever I got frustrated or confused, I would automatically switch back to English in my head.
Oh no, that's like taking a step backward every time you make progress.
Exactly. So I started telling myself, okay, David, for the next 10 minutes, you're in your Japanese bubble. No English thoughts allowed.
And did it work?
It was hard at first. My brain kept trying to escape back to English, but after a few days, something clicked.
What happened?
I stopped fighting the language. Instead of thinking, how do I say this in Japanese? I just tried to communicate with whatever Japanese I knew.
So for English learners, this would mean creating specific times when they only allow English thoughts in their heads.
Exactly. Start small, maybe 5 minutes while you're having breakfast. Everything you think during those 5 minutes has to be in English.
And if you don't know a word,
You find another way to express the same idea. This is where creativity comes in.
like if you don't know the word exhausted, you might think very, very tired.
Perfect. You're still thinking in English, just using simpler words.
Let's role play this. David, pretend you're in your English bubble and you're trying to decide what to have for lunch.
Okay, I'm thinking I want to eat something not heavy, maybe a sandwich or soup. Soup sounds good. It's cold today, so warm soup would be nice. But what kind of soup?
Great. Now, David, what if you wanted to say delicious, but you couldn't remember that word?
I want soup that tastes really good. Something that makes me happy when I eat it.
Perfect. You stayed in English and found another way to express the same idea.
And you know what? Sometimes these alternative expressions are actually more natural than the perfect word you were trying to remember.
So true. Native speakers do this all the time when they can't think of a specific word.
The English bubble technique forces you to be resourceful with the English you already know, instead of always reaching for translation.
Plus, it builds confidence. You realize you can communicate even when you don't know every single word.
Exactly. And over time, your English bubble can get bigger and bigger. Maybe start with 5 minutes, then 10, then 30.
Some of our advanced students have English bubbles that last for hours.
The goal is to make English feel like home, not like a foreign country you're just visiting.
Okay, everyone, let's quickly review these 3 tips because they work even better when you combine them.
Right, so we have simple self-talk, mental pictures instead of translation, and the English bubble technique.
Here's how they work together. Let's say you're cooking dinner.
You're in your English bubble, only English thoughts allowed.
I see onions on the counter, and instead of translating onions from your native language, you just see onions and think onions.
And then you start talking to yourself. I need to cut these onions. They're gonna make me cry.
See, all 3 techniques working together.
And the best part is, after a few weeks of practice, this starts to happen automatically.
Your brain begins to prefer English for certain situations.
It's like, imagine you have 2 paths to your house. One is long and bumpy, that's translation. The other is short and smooth, that's thinking directly in English.
At first, you're used to the long, bumpy path, but once you discover the short, smooth path, why would you ever go back?
Exactly. Your brain naturally chooses the easier option.
But remember, this takes practice. Don't get frustrated if it feels weird at first.
Right. I felt silly talking to myself in Japanese for the first week, but it was so worth it.
And don't worry about making mistakes. The goal is fluency, not perfection.
Native speakers make mistakes all the time. We say and we forget words, we change our minds in the middle of sentences.
That's what real communication looks like. It's messy and imperfect and beautiful.
Wow, Anna, I can't believe how fast this conversation went. I feel like we just scratched the surface.
I know. There's so much more we could say about thinking in English. Maybe we should do a part 2.
Ooh, that's a great idea. Let us know in the comments if you'd like a follow-up episode.
And speaking of comments, we really want to hear from you. Try one of these techniques this week and tell us how it goes.
Don't worry if it feels strange at first. Remember, you're training your brain to work in a completely new way.
It's like learning to ride a bike. At first, you wobble and feel unsteady, but once you get it, you never forget.
And just like riding a bike, thinking in English becomes automatic with practice.
So be patient with yourself, celebrate small victories, and remember, every English learner goes through this process.
You're not alone in this journey. We're here cheering you on, and so is our amazing Speak Now community.
Before we go, if this episode helped you, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel.
We post new episodes every week, always with practical tips you can use right away.
And ring that notification bell so you never miss an episode.
From all of us here at Speak Now, keep practicing, keep believing in yourself, and keep speaking.
Remember, you don't have to be perfect to communicate effectively. You just need to be brave enough to try.
Until next time, this is David.
And Anna.
Encouraging you to speak now, think now, and succeed now.
See you next week.